Now for the other side, we welcome in former Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake. Madam Mayor, thanks for being here. Your thoughts, you just heard that from the former acting White House Chief of Staff, the state of the race, where you see it tonight.
I think it's always great to be up in the polls, but the most important poll we know is Election Day. I think so many of us remember the pain that we felt knowing the polls were favoring Hillary Clinton 4 years ago and knowing the ultimate outcome. And I hope everyone understands the price that is paid when we don't go to the polls. So I encourage people, even though we are pleased and the Biden team is pleased that the polls are showing him ahead, that we cannot take it for granted. The focus needs to be on making sure that every single Democrat gets out to vote, because if that happens, Biden will win.
Yeah, there is some frustration up on Capitol Hill. Republicans thought that they were close to at least starting the conversation on police reform. Take a listen to Senator Tim Scott on this.
Young Americans of all colors are losing faith in the institutions of authority and power in this nation because we're playing small ball. We're playing for those in the insulated chambers. We're playing for presidential politics.
So Democrats blocked the effort to even get the bill to vote on or to be amended. And there's frustration that this is all about politics and trying to be a presidential issue. How do you respond to that?
I think it's definitely frustrating for many of us to see what's going on in Congress. My hope is that some meaningful police reform will come out of Congress. But what I know from being a mayor is a lot of the leadership happens on the ground level from mayors. And I know that police reform is something that mayors across the country are taking a look at. They are engaging with their constituents to make sure that the policing for their community fits what the community needs. So while I know that it's frustrating that the reform isn't coming out of Capitol Hill, that doesn't mean that change isn't coming.
So you would tell your Democrat colleagues on the Hill maybe they should have gone forward and tried to amend the bill and get 70%, not 100%?
You know, I wouldn't, I think it's important for them to stand their ground in the way that they think is important. They're there every day. They know what they need to get done. For me, while it's frustrating that there isn't more coming out of it, what I know is that, as much as they're doing, the real change happens on the ground. The work that they're doing in Congress isn't going to change the law enforcement officers' Bill of Rights. In Maryland, which had to be amended to make sure that my police commissioner could enforce and take precautions when it was necessary against officers who had committed wrongdoing.
Yeah, I want to play just one more soundbite for you, and this is Bob Johnson, the founder of BET, talking to Fox earlier this week.
Vice President Biden said to an African-American, a Black American host on a show, even if you think about voting for Donald Trump, you're not Black. To have that mindset, you must have the attitude that we Black Americans, we own you. We can take you for granted. That to me shows you that Black Americans are an appendage of a party.
He went on to say that maybe Black Lives Matter should start its own party. What's your response to Bob Johnson?
I think it's unfortunate that he took what Biden said, when prompted by a radio host out of context and did so, unfortunately, to be more divisive. And I don't think it's a time for us as a community to think about being divisive. The Democratic Party has always been a place where African Americans, in my lifetime have found opportunities for leadership. I was the secretary for the DNC. There's so many that have gone before me. So to say that because of something that was inartfully said on a talk show that African Americans are an appendage of the party, I don't believe that to be the case at all.
Yeah, just last thing quickly. I mean, you're saying not to be divisive, but there are parts of this movement and tearing down monuments and statues beyond Confederate figures that some would say are divisive and outside the norm of our process of government. Will the Vice President, former Vice President, speak out about that?
I think what we need to hear is our president speak out.
He has.
Against racism, against police brutality. He spent more time defending these monuments of the South, monuments of the Confederates that were anti-America, anti-U.S. He spent more time defending them than he has protecting the over 100,000 Americans that have died from COVID. You know, he's got his priorities really mixed up. I think if he focused on, listening to the protesters instead of trying to incite violence and, to try to boost his poll numbers with his base, I think we'd all be better off.
Yeah, obviously the Trump campaign has a different view of where he is and what he said. Mayor, we appreciate your time. Please send the message that we'd love to have the former Vice President on.
Will do.
Thanks.